Praise the Lord. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Who can proclaim the mighty acts of the Lord, or fully declare his praise? Blessed are they who maintain justice, who constantly do what is right. Remember me, O Lord, when you show favor to your people. Come to my aid when you save them, that I may enjoy the prosperity of your chosen ones, that I may share in the joy of your nation, and join your inheritance in giving praise. We have sinned, even as our fathers did. We have done wrong and acted wickedly. When our fathers were in Egypt, they gave no thought to your miracles. They did not remember your many kindnesses, and they rebelled by the sea, the Red Sea. Yet he saved them for his name's sake, to make his mighty power known. He rebuked the Red Sea, and it dried up. He led them through the depths as through a desert. He saved them from the hand of the foe. From the hand of the enemy he redeemed them. The waters covered their adversaries. Not one of them survived. Then they believed his promises and sang his praise. But they soon forgot what he had done and did not wait for his counsel. In the desert they gave in to their craving. In the wasteland they put God to the test. So he gave them what they asked for, but sent a wasting disease upon them. In the camp they grew envious of Moses and of Aaron, who was consecrated to the Lord. The earth opened up and swallowed Dathan. It buried the company of Abraham. Fire blazed among their followers. A flame consumed the wicked. At Horeb they made a calf and worshipped an idol cast from metal. They exchanged their glory for an image of a bull, which eats grass. They forgot the God who saved them, who had done great things in Egypt, miracles in the land of Ham, and awesome deeds by the Red Sea. So he said he would destroy them, had not Moses, his chosen one, stood in the breach before him to keep his wrath from destroying them. Then they despised the pleasant land. They did not believe his promise. They grumbled in their tents and did not obey the Lord. So he swore to them with uplifted hand that he would make them fall in the desert, make their descendants fall among the nations, and scatter them throughout the lands. They yoked themselves to the Baal of Peor, and ate sacrifices offered to lifeless gods. They provoked the Lord to anger by their wicked deeds, and a plague broke out among them. But Phinehas stood up and intervened, and the plague was checked. This was credited to him as righteousness for endless generations to come. Turn him into a total Romeo. If you're trying to get your guy to be more romantic, there's a right way and a wrong way to go about it. Here, the do's and don'ts for dreamy dates. Don't hint. Telling him that Susie's boyfriend wrote her a love haiku will probably just get you a blank stare. Guys don't get hints unless they're really obvious, at which point they are no longer hints. Do be specific, but not pushy. Instead of asking, "Why can't you be more romantic?" gently say, "You know, Getting flowers from you on my birthday would make me totally psyched. Don't whine. Nothing is more anti-romance. Do think of something sweet you can do for him. He'll get motivated to return the favor. Don't go nuts. Covering his locker with glitter, streamers, and hearts will embarrass him or freak him out. Do go for the personal touch. A handwritten note or a homemade tape left in his backpack is sure to clue him in. Don't make a huge to-do when he does come through with a romantic move. It'll just make him feel stupid. Do give him positive reinforcement. Tell him how happy he's made you, then shower him with hugs and kisses. Comfort, comfort, my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem and proclaim to her that her hard service has been completed, that her sin has been paid for, that she has received from the Lord's hand double for all her sins. A voice of one calling, in the desert prepare the way for the Lord. Make straight in the wilderness a highway for our God. Every valley shall be raised up, every mountain and hill made low. The rough ground shall become level, the rugged places a plain. And the glory of the Lord will be revealed, and all mankind together will see it, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. A voice says, cry out. And I said, what shall I cry? And men are like grass, and all their glory is like the flowers of the field. The grass withers and the flowers fall, because the breath of the Lord blows on them. Surely the people are grass. The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of our God stands forever. You who bring good tidings to Zion, go up on a high mountain. You who bring good tidings to Jerusalem, lift up your voice with a shout. Lift it up, do not be afraid. Say to the towns of Judah, here is your God. See, the sovereign Lord comes with power, and his arms rule for him. See, his reward is with him, and his recompense accompanies him. He tends to his flock like a shepherd. He gathers the lambs in his arms and carries them close to his heart. He gently leads those that have young. Romantic rules. If you're positive that guys think about sex 24/7, you're almost right. 24% said it pops into their heads about once an hour, and a whopping 71% said they think about it at least once a day. Only 5% said it crosses their minds a mere once a week. But that doesn't mean the only thing guys are into is messing around. Here's what they'd do if a girl were dating and said no to sex. 62% would wait until she was ready. 22% would continue dating her, but have sex with someone on the side. Boo, hiss. 14% would be psyched because they're not really ready either. 2% would dump her for a girl who would say yes. When it comes to sex, guys worry most about unwanted pregnancy, that would be 46%, STDs, 27%, their performance, 14%, not getting any, 7%, all of the above, 6%. I will praise you, O Lord, with all my heart. I will tell of all your wonders. I will be glad and rejoice in you. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. My enemies turn back. They stumble and perish before you, for you have upheld my right and my cause. You have sat on your throne, judging righteously. You have rebuked the nations and destroyed the wicked. You have blotted out their name forever and ever. Endless ruin has overtaken the enemy. You have uprooted their cities. Even the memory of them has perished. The Lord reigns forever. He has established his throne for judgment. He will judge the world in righteousness. He will govern the peoples with justice. The Lord is a refuge for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. Those who know your name will trust in you, for you, Lord, have never forsaken those who seek you. Sing praises to the Lord enthroned in Zion. Proclaim among the nations what he has done. For he who avenges blood remembers. He does not ignore the cry of the afflicted. O Lord, see how my enemies persecute me. Have mercy and lift me up from the gates of death, that I may declare your praises in the gates of the daughter of Zion, and there rejoice in your salvation. The nations have fallen into the pit they have dug. Their feet are caught in the net they have hidden. The Lord is known by his justice. The wicked are ensnared by the work of their hands. You've come out of the girls' room with your skirt tucked into your tights. When a bud points this out, you A, shriek, then run back into the bathroom and hide out there for the next 4 periods. B, find a corner, have her fix it, then ask who saw. C, casually yank it out as you cruise to your next class. You answer the door in a mud mask. And surprise, it's the new guy you've been dating. You, A, immediately slam the door in his face. B, say hi, then casually ask your mom to entertain him while you wash off the mud. C, invite him in to crash on the couch with you until it's time to rinse. While acting in a school play, you trip and fall off the stage. You A, pretend that you're unconscious. After all, nobody will laugh if they think you're really hurt. B, immediately climb back on stage and pray no one got it on video. C, Continue reciting your lines while lying there, sprawled out on the floor. While chatting up a serious mega-babe on your first date, you accidentally spit in his face. You A. Apologize every 10 minutes for the rest of the night. B. Offer him a tissue, then burst into a fit of nervous giggles. C. Ignore it. No big deal. It'll dry. Am I not free? Am I not an apostle? Have I not seen Jesus, our Lord? Are you not the result of my work in the Lord? Even though I may not be an apostle to others, surely I am to you, for you are the seal of my apostleship in the Lord. This is my defense to those who sit in judgment on me. Don't we have the right to food and drink? Don't we have the right to take a believing wife along with us, as do the other apostles and the Lord's brothers in Cephas? Or is it only I and Barnabas who must work for a living? Who serves as a soldier at his own expense? Who plants a vineyard and does not eat of its grapes? Who tends a flock and does not drink of the milk? Do I say this merely from a human point of view? Doesn't the law say the same thing? For it is written in the law of Moses, "Do not muzzle an ox while it is treading out the grain." Is it about oxen that God is concerned? Surely he says this for us, doesn't he? Yes, this was written for us because when the plowman plows and the thresher threshes, they ought to do so in the hope of sharing in the harvest. If we have sown spiritual seed among you, is it too much if we reap a material harvest from you? If others have this right of support from you, shouldn't we have it all the more? But we did not use this right. On the contrary, we put up with anything rather than hinder the gospel of Christ. Don't you know that those who work in the temple get their food from the temple, and those who serve at the altar share in what is offered on the altar? In the same way, the Lord has commanded that those who preach the gospel should receive their living from the gospel. But I have not used any of these rights, and I am not writing this in the hope that you will do such things for me. I would rather die than have anyone deprive me of this boast. Yet when I preach the gospel, I cannot boast, for I am compelled to preach. Woe to me if I do not preach the gospel. If I preach voluntarily, I have a reward. If not voluntarily, I am simply discharging the trust committed to me. What then is my reward? Just this, that in preaching the gospel I may offer it free of charge, and so not make use of my rights in preaching it. Though I am free and belong to no man, I make myself a slave to everyone, to win as many as possible. To the Jews I became like a Jew, to win the Jews. To those under the law I became like one under the law, though I myself am not under the law, so as to win those under the law. To those not having the law I became like one not having the law, though I am not free from God's law, but am under Christ's law, so as to win those not having the law. To the weak I became weak, to win the weak. I have become all things to all men, so that by all possible means I might save some. I do all this for the sake of the gospel. That I may share in its blessings. I've turned now to page 42, February 1996, Young and Modern. Are you ready for sex? Yeah, we know he thinks so. But as you may have noticed, he could be on serious fast forward. Your friends are going at their own speeds, are talking big because they assume everyone's gone further than they have. All this can make you forget the key question: is it the right time for you? The right time to have sex depends on a bunch of personal things, like whether you're emotionally ready, whether you're physically prepared, and whether your gut, not any other part of your body, says to go for it. So before you decide to do it, give yourself the third degree with this questionnaire. Number 1. Are you and your boyfriend mentally bonded on the issue of sex? In other words, do you both know that using latex condoms is vital? Have you discussed the emotional and psychological stuff that might happen afterward? How would you feel if you saw him smooching up some other babe the next week? How would you feel if he decided his best friend was more your type? What if you flip out